BMW believes that petrol motors are going to make a strong comeback and are going to dominate over diesel cars. And that's the reason they've launched this all-new 320i with a 2-liter petrol motor. So should this be the default choice if you're planning to buy a 3 Series? Let's find out on the show today.
Well, even though the 3 Series cabin might not be as opulent or as luxurious as the one on the Mercedes C-Class, or it might not really feel as stylish as the one on the Audi A4, it does have its own charm. And why is that? Well, simply because it offers you completely analog gauges which really give you a very sporty feel inside the cabin. And what also makes the cabin more desirable and more practical is the fact that this iDrive system over here, which controls all the menus and the sub-menus on the BMW 3 Series, is a lot more intuitive and easier to operate than the one on all its rivals. Well, what also adds to the intuitive nature of the iDrive system is this huge 8-inch screen over here, which really is very good in terms of legibility. And even when the sun is really shining on the outside, this screen is very legible and very easy to read. This cabin really does have a charm of its own in its own unique right. In terms of practicality, you get this huge box where you can keep your cell phone, your wallet and some other odds and ends. You get a decent size glove box, and you also get big door bins which can generally house those big 1 liter bottles from your home. Well, not only do you get this iDrive system, you also get different driving modes to choose from, and you also get ESP as well as multiple airbags for your safety. Well, so the front seat is set for my driving position, and my height for reference is 5'10", so someone who is 5'10" will be very comfortable over here in the back seat. And even someone who is about 6'1" or 6'2" should not have a big issue sitting over here, because the rear roof over here has been scooped out a bit to give you extra bits of headroom, so it should not be a big issue for people who are tall. Just like the Mercedes C-Class, the Audi A4 as well as the Jaguar XE, there's a huge transmission tunnel over here. But that said, the footwells are pretty big enough to accommodate the feet of whoever will be sitting over here in the middle. Well, but if it's only 2 people you want to accommodate at the back, then you also get this huge armrest, which also comes with its own cup holders. So in terms of practicality also, it's a very good cabin to be in. Well, what also makes the 3 Series a very practical car is this huge boot. Now officially it's 495 litres in terms of overall capacity, which is nearly identical to the one on the Mercedes C-Class, and the best part is that it's a very wide boot and it's a very square shaped boot with a very big opening, which means that if you have a big bag or a big box to heave in, it should not be a big issue. And what's even better is the fact that the sill isn't very high from the ground, which means that if you have a big airport transfer and you have to load a lot of boxes, you won't really have to put in too much of your bag. Well, so here I'm driving the new BMW 320i, and this car comes with a 2-liter petrol engine which makes about 184 bhp of power as well as 270 Nm of torque. You will realize that it is a keen driver's car as soon as you put your hands on this steering wheel, because it is absolutely brilliant to hold, and these indents are at the right place, and the rim size also is just perfect. Well, so the electrically power assisted steering wheel on this car means that it takes a lot less effort to put it into tight parking spaces when you're of course in the city, but when you take it out on the highway, the weight in the steering wheel adds up and it feels a lot more livelier and a lot more crisper than it does in the city, which is a very good thing for keen drivers. Well, the steering wheel on the 320i is so crisp and so precise, and I could actually end up doing an entire segment on the steering wheel of the 3 Series, but what I will say is that it is simply brilliant and the best in its segment. It's definitely ahead of the Jaguar XE, the Mercedes C-Class as well as the Audi A4. And why is the 3 Series such a great driver's car? Well, simply because, like most other BMWs, this one has that 50-50 weight distribution between the front and the rear axle, and it is also a car which feels very dynamic and very agile. Well, unlike its other rivals, which tend to be a little on the firmer side in terms of the suspension setup, the BMW 3 Series seems to be absolutely spot on. It's neither too firm nor is it too soft, which means that ride in the city is very good. It's very supple. It managed to soak in a lot of the bumps, and when you take it out on the highway and take it up those twisty bends, it doesn't suffer from too much body roll. Well, this engine truly is as smooth as butter. It's really a silky smooth unit. Well, what really aids the refinement of the 3 Series' engine is of course the 8-speed gearbox. Yes, it is an 8-speed gearbox, and it's really a very good gearbox. The gear shifts are really quick. There's minimal lag. In fact, there's no lag between gear changes. Well, the 3 Series really is a car which you can take out on the track, and performance figures are really solid because this car goes from 0 to 100 in a little over 7 seconds. While the handling on the 3 Series is truly sublime. Well, I say that in the truest sense of the word because the steering wheel on this car is really well weighted. Neither is it too light when you're in the city, nor is it too heavy when you take it on the highway. It's really perfect, And the chassis of this car really is very dynamic, and it really is a very agile machine. It really does love to change lanes very quickly, and it is a car which you will really enjoy driving. Well, if you are someone who enjoys driving himself, then you will also appreciate the fact that the A-pillar over here isn't very thick, unlike some of its rivals, and visibility is something that people who drive around those hilly sections will appreciate the most. Well, even though BMW hasn't paid me to say it, I will endorse the 3 Series as the best driver's car in its segment. Yes, it is better than the Jaguar XC as well as the Audi A4 and the Mercedes C-Class. And if you are having a bit of a bad day, if you are having a bit of a grey day and you want to liven up your mood, then all you need to do is simply take your 3 Series out for a spin, and I promise you that it will truly manage to put a smile on your face. Well, so the all-new BMW 320i offers you a very strong personality on the outside, a very comfortable cabin on the inside, and a plush ride as well. Not only that, it comes with a very refined and very dynamic petrol engine and is the best driver's car in its segment. And if you're still not as convinced about this car as I am, then you should head to a BMW dealership and try one out for yourself. As always, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. It's bye for now and hope to see you soon.